Guys, I feel like someone's watching me right now. I feel like I'm being watched. I don't know what's going on. I don't...
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Tommy.
And that's SKYWALKERHENDRIX.
What?
Hey.
Now, this is some fancy schmancy technology that we got going on here.
This totally was not a pain to put together.
No, this was...
Yeah.
You better appreciate this. You better appreciate it.
This is officially the first time. This is Jackson's idea to
Yes.
have a guest that we've previously had on the show on a weekly episode of the podcast.
This
Might as well
isn't
try
Have a
something
Chat.
different.
This isn't Have a Chat. This is just...
We're
its
still
own-
going to talk about
is-
Andor, but with a cool person this time.
Yeah.
Skywalker, how have you been?
I've been pretty good. How about you guys?
Oh, you know, just another day in the office. Just
Jay
another-
chilling. We got like a foot of snow, and my classes got canceled because they located in the snow belt, so they got like 2 feet.
I dug my car out today with a snow brush.
Sweet, my snow brush broke today. Yeah.
Have fun buying another one in this local area anytime soon.
They had to cancel most classes because big thing about Edinburgh campus is that it's a very wheelchair accessible campus, and half the people in wheelchairs couldn't get to class because of all the snow. So that's why
Cool.
classes were canceled. No
walk.
accessibility.
Yeah,
Just
we've been getting a lot of snow here too.
Up in Wisconsin. So
Wisconsin.
do you guys just like
Oh,
freeze
yeah.
your cheese and your brats out in the backyard when this happens, or?
Oh yeah, the grills stay going year round around here. So
Mm.
I wouldn't doubt that. That's actually funny though.
Cheese beat curtain.
Cheesy curtain. So, everybody, we have a bunch of Star Wars stuff to talk about this
Yes.
week. But first, Jacob, what's all our cool stuff we got going on?
Well, if you didn't notice already, we had a video that came out today, as of recording this, yesterday, you get the idea. We had Mark Thompson on the show, the voice of Thrawn when it comes to all the audiobooks, one of the greatest audiobook narrators, in my opinion, of all time. So please, don't mind our garbage quality for our end. Mark was fine, and that's all that matters, because you're not here for us, you're here for him. It was a really cool episode. I think it was a lot of fun to record. We just kind of sound like this the whole time.
The audio actually wasn't terrible for the majority of it. It was just the video because there was a snowstorm going on while we were recording.
So
Even right now.
Even right now.
So we took the L on that. But if you haven't already, make sure you please check that out. And if you want to be so fancy, so cool, and so epic, follow us on all of our social media. That is Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Buy some stuff from our Teespring. Link is in the description below. And if you want to be super ultra mega cool, join the Discord. And you want to be ultra super ultra mega cool legendary epic skin, join us on Patreon.
Epic skin.
Epic skin.
So, everybody, we have a ton of stuff. Actually, real quick, too, you will see this in the description of this podcast episode. All of Skywalker Hendrix's social media is going to be plugged down there. If you want some Black Series reviews way before most other people have them out, you need to go check out Skywalker Hendrix. He is a good friend of the channel, good friend of ours, and we are always looking to plug our good friends of the channel. So, with that being said, let's talk some Star Wars. So, I have a few things on the agenda because you know what? We missed something last week.
We did.
We missed something, and that actually is the cast reveal of the Star Wars show, The Acolyte.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a cast listing, and we also got the official announcement from Lucasfilm that the show has started filming.
Woo!
So, Skywalker, how are we feeling about this?
I'm really excited about that show. I think I've read like some leaks about like what the main storyline is going to be, and from what I've heard, it sounds very. It sounds like live action Visions, Star Wars Visions, the anime. So that's just what I got from what I read online. But I'm super excited for that show.
That'll be cool.
I'm curious to see if it has the same maturity kind of rating as Andor does for sure. If now we're going to get into a whole subgenre of more adult catered Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Especially for what it's supposed to be from our idea.
Mm-hmm. I'm still holding on to hope that this is going to be based off some form of Star Wars Red Harvest, because not only was that book cool, it takes place in the Sith Society during the High Republic, and all their students are referred to as acolytes. So that would be really cool if we had something horror related.
So Lucasfilm actually came out with an official statement saying what the premise of the show is.
Oh, so it's
Okay.
It takes place at the end of the High Republic era, which, according to some definitions, is when Qui-Gon Jinn meets Darth Maul on Tatooine. And according to other definitions, means about 40 years before The Phantom Menace. So, and those are both official definitions according... Go ahead.
I've heard more like around 100 years before
yeah,
the Phantom Menace.
that would make a
That
lot
makes
more
more
sense.
sense.
I just think, sure, but that's what I've heard, that they're gonna go about 100 years out, which I don't know. I think staying away from those characters sometimes is good. Just sprinkling them in here and there, like the core legacy characters like Qui-Gon and Palpatine, you know. So I like that we're seeing new stuff, and I think, like you guys said, with the more adult themed content, I think they're definitely like dipping their toes in, especially with Andor. I think the feedback they've gotten is great for that show too. Maybe not like in numbers wise, but overall, I think a lot of people just like it a lot more than what we've been getting recently. But yeah, I think it's going to be great and some new and fresh in a different time period that we haven't seen.
Yeah, I think the show is going to be hopefully not the Marvel kind of humor. I really am happy that Star Wars has not dipped its toes into Marvel style humor. I think that needs to stay with Marvel, because Star Wars has humor and it works, especially stuff in The Mandalorian. You know, I think stuff with the Mithril works really, really well. But I think that the over the top humor that Marvel has needs to stay with that studio, and I think that Star Wars has developed its own style, and it needs to stick with that. The only actor off of this cast list that I recognize is Charlie Barnett, and he actually was a character in the show You, which is on Netflix. It's about a guy who basically is a serial killer, but you see everything from his thoughts and his point of view.
So like Dahmer.
Pretty much. It's a really, really good show. I highly recommend it. But yeah, he plays like a side character in season 2 of the show, and he does a really good job acting. So his character was really interesting. So I'm really hopeful that he gets used in this show more than just a minor role.
Mm-hmm. I know Lee Jung-jae. He was in Squid Game.
Oh, really?
That's what I know that he's from. Because I think I looked at him and I went, he looks really familiar. I think he was in Squid Game, and I looked it up and I saw it and I was like, ha, that's funny. But no, I think the cast looks really stacked right now, and I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for more different Star Wars content.
So where's Darth Plagueis? Where is he?
Not around.
Where is he?
Might make a cameo.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So a couple other
I
things.
think it's a possibility.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping. But we got a couple other things here, a couple housekeeping things. Jackson has something very cool to share with everybody
To
today.
unveil this absolutely amazing custom that I actually got by Commander Cook. Thank you so much again for spending time on this and sending it to me. Gotta show this off real quick. Look at that. It is a heavy from Battlefront 2, because that's kind of the design that I requested when he was asking me about that before. Got the Z6 rotary cannon on stack. Dude's got the Merce and the backpack, so you know I'm carrying so much stuff in that to begin with. But the detail on this is literally astounding. Like, it is so well done. It's like hard to even believe that he made this, and it isn't like something I just got like from Hasbro. Thank you so much. Oh, it is absolutely better than Hasbro, but you know what I mean though. Thank you so much, Tomato Cook, for getting me this. Like, I'm still like geeking about it as well. I keep sending around being like, look at this! Soul made a figure for me! Isn't this awesome?
The customs are a-coming. They are a-coming.
We got
It's
one more.
amazing.
We got one more coming. Just whenever it gets done.
Yep. Very excited. Skywalker, you've been dabbling a lot in the custom figures yourself with those AliExpress ones.
Yeah, I recently I wanted to do a video on them for a while, but it's kind of like I don't know, like some people think it's kind of a touchy subject, and I mean it is, because I think technically like it would be considered like illegal or like fraudulent or something like that. But like I'm not, I don't want to like promote it, but it's a little like collecting hack kind of video that I made. And I just didn't see a lot of videos on that particular subject. So I just thought it was a good video idea, and something that, you know, if you didn't know about, now you do. And it's a great, cheap way to get clones, and especially for customizers, getting your hands on a lot of clone bodies is pretty hard if you're going straight from Hasbro. So having that, you know, $22 straight shipped, and you know, you can get as many as you want, and it's just a great option for army building and customizing.
I agree.
Jackson, you look so stupid right now.
Oh my God.
We have
So
audience
Skywalker
members,
can't see us.
Skywalker can't see us because of the way that we have this set up. We have a monitor right in front of us, a big TV where everybody else is looking at Skywalker at the TV, and Jackson's just staring over his shoulder like a hawk. Just,
I feel like there's a big stork on the other end of the table. Just
you know that bird from Up? That's what Jackson's like
if
right
anybody
now.
knows what a
It just
shoe
makes
bill
sense,
is,
bro.
if you know what a shoe bill is, it's this huge bird, and it's like 6 feet tall.
Oh, the one that sounds like a machine gun when
Yes.
it clacks its bill, just dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah, Jackson's
Yeah.
just staring like.
Jackson's a shoe bill.
Bro,
Just watch him on the monitor. I've been trying to nudge you and be like, look at him on the monitor. So you're not like,
Oh man,
Sorry.
he is
Sir-
gazing.
he's surveying, bro.
I can't take my eyes off of him.
Skywalker, when you see this video, you're gonna feel how awkward it is. You're gonna feel just
Jackson just cocking his head back over his shoulder, gazing upon Tommy and I just to look at your beautiful face.
Jackson's gonna be like, guys, my neck hurts really bad tomorrow morning. And be like, I don't know why.
Y'all gotta be chill, man.
We got the stork on the podcast with us today.
Everyone, another little bit of housekeeping. I actually have been working quite a bit on my armor recently.
Oh, good.
I finished my helmet for our Commander Blitz. I got the visor in it. It looks very, very cool. We have the gauntlets done. The shin guards are done. And I think I mentioned this already, but Tall Guy 102, shout out to you again, dude, for printing out the blaster pistols and the holsters, because those did not come with the kit. I got the midsection is fitted now. It's all
Nice.
Velcroed together. It's ready to go. It's nice, and the seams look natural. And now all we have to do is finish up the comma, which my wonderful grandmother, who is a seamstress, is going to put that together. And we'll have it done before December 3rd. So I'm very excited to unveil. So pay attention. It's going to be right here at 1313 Tommy's Collection. I post updates on my armor on that page on Instagram. So, and I'll probably post it on 1313 Podcast when I finish the
That's
costume, do an official unveiling, and I'll have Jackson and Jacob do a life-size action figure review of me in the suit as well.
We'll make sure
That'd
to
be funny.
we'll get him to the top of a stadium and then we'll push him down the stairs and see how long it takes him to break his neck.
Our Commander Blitz drop test. Will it work?
Our Commander Blitz articulation check.
What did the Embos band?
Crunch. Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
How bulletproof is Tommy's armor?
Oh, I can test that.
So can I.
Whoa, guys.
We'll start with small arms or move our way up. to
Skywalker,
buckshot.
back me up here, bro. Skywalker, back me up here. What's going on?
Looks like you're gonna need some upgraded armor, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Good thing I'm unkillable, you know? So,
I don't know how if I have a cooldown or not. I
I
might.
don't know. We'll find out.
I used mine for this Huh? I used mine at least for this year.
Yes.
If you don't know what that joke is, you got to go back and find it in the podcast episode. So watch all of our stuff, please.
And then real quick, last thing, I should have brought this up earlier with Commander Cook. Shout out to Commander Cook for giving us a shout out on Star Wars Theory's
that was hilarious.
Rule of Two live stream. He sent a clip into the Discord. He donated a $10 super chat to try and get a shout out for the 1313 podcast, and they were very disinterested.
They went, shout out to the 1313 podcast on YouTube. Those guys are super interesting now. And he went back to doing whatever he had before.
Yeah, they didn't look like they were having a good time on the stream. So.
No.
Yeah, they ain't like us. They ain't cool.
No.
They're just not chill like us.
But if either of them ever want to come on the show and they ever see this, we'd love to talk to you. Love to. Have a chat.
Mm-hmm. We had Mark Thompson on the show.
Yeah, something like that.
You could have anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, everyone, I think it is about time. Skywalker, do you have any news or like anything updates before we talk about Andor?
No, I mean, not really. I am working on a video right now where I'm going to be discussing the best ever Black Series wave.
Really?
And because just with the new wave coming out, I thought that without a shadow of a doubt, that would be the best wave compared to all the other ones. But I don't think so. After looking at all the waves, I'm like, there's one that beats it. So I think it's going to be an interesting video. So
cool. I can't wait to see that. I know that it's coming to that time of year where people do top 10 Black Series figures of 2022.
We should do. What if we did one and we like spoofed it real hard? It was like top 10, but it was actually like the worst figures.
Top 5 draft list. And each person
Bro,
can only pick one figure.
Football season is almost over, bro.
Nah, bro, but I'm saying we each pick, like if one person takes a figure for their list, you can't have that figure for your list.
Yeah, that's how draft picks work.
Yeah, but it's not a draft.
I have no words for how stupid that was.
Dude, I'm just on another plane of thinking. I'm a higher intellectual being. But what I was saying to Skywalker, though, was like, I do think that it is nice when people do things like you're doing, where you put a spin on the video, because I feel like everybody just does the same, like, they'll do a list, they'll do the same figures, and it's like, oh yeah, everyone knows that these were the best of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very repetitive. So I think that it's cool when people put a little spin on it like that. So, everybody, let's talk.
Did you send him? Is he watching me?
Did you come here to kill me?
Who is it?
Let's talk Andor. Season 1, Episode 11.
Yep.
Daughter of Ferrix.
Isn't the next episode the finale?
Yes.
The next episode is the finale. So, first impressions, I want to hear from Skywalker first. Skywalker, what were your first impressions of this episode of Andor?
Man, the last, like, 3 or 4 episodes, I think the last 3 in general, have just, at the end of each of them, I'm just like, man, like, I cannot believe we're getting this right now. Like, not saying that any of the other shows have been bad, but, like, they're all kind of the same, like, overall feel. And this is just something totally different that, I don't know, it's just superb, like, filmmaking in general, and I've just really been enjoying it, and this last episode was no exception. I mean, that, like, end space battle, I don't know what they did to, like, make that so, like, intense, and, like, I don't know, it was just really, you got the feels from it when Luthen's just starts going off on those TIE fighters. So, yeah, I just think it's an amazing show and definitely deserves some awards when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think Luthen's ship might be my new favorite ship in Star Wars. I just got to say the Fondor Hallcraft.
Like me talking about Moon Knight and Batman.
And I got no shame, I'm going to just say.
The lasers coming out, I was like, that's a thing? That's a thing now?
My man got the Darth Maul ship. Now you know what we were talking about, because Jacob hadn't seen it yet, and Jackson and I were giving spoilers out of context.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we had brought up was just kind of the Darth Maul ship, the Darth Maul aspect of it.
Yeah, when you said it's the Darth Maul ship, I was watching, I was like, this just does not look like Darth Maul's ship at all. I was like, I don't know what they talking about.
I thought that was pretty ingenious with the whole have smaller metal objects so then they'll get pulled faster.
Physical projectiles.
I was
He was
whoa.
trying to get his way out of the tractor beam, I was kind of wondering if he was going to start trying to do what Luke does in Heir to the Empire, where he tries to outrun it, and while it continues to track him, he like accelerates faster and faster, and then cuts his velocity completely, so the tractor beam just kind of goes in front of him just for long enough for him to hit light speed. I was like, oh, is he about to do the thing from Heir to the Empire? But he didn't. I did like the solution that they had though. I don't understand why it took so long for the trash to load. Like, is he just running on malware internet on his?
I think it's because I think it's honestly because he was using a lot of power for his thrusters, and I think that the thrusters were a distraction for activating the countermeasures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. I don't know.
Or it might have just been a whole thing about calibrating the thruster, so it was fighting against the level of tractor beam that they were using, while also like trying to program these things to fly on the same frequency. I don't know.
I thought that seeing a TIE bomber was super cool. I'm sad that it got blown up.
I
The
saw it for like
first
2
to die.
seconds. I saw it for 2 seconds. I was like, oh, a TIE bomber.
It makes sense now that Lego is doing a TIE bomber set. They'll probably label it as an Andor set.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be a dope idea. Even though you literally see it for a second and then it blows up.
I went, oh, TIE bomber, and then I went, oh,
TIE bomber.
TIE bomber. Yeah, but it was just, and again, like I thought the second time I watched it through, him spinning with the ship, I was like, oh, he just did that like for show. But no, it makes sense because the TIE fighters could have easily dodged if he would have stayed stationary. So him spinning made it a lot more difficult for the TIE fighters to evade that attack.
He'll spin. That's a good trick.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. My man is in Star Wars top 5 pilots. I'm going to just put it out there. He has the Transformer ship, the Darth Maul ship. He has...
This is completely unrelated, but I was just scrolling through YouTube this morning, just looking at stuff, and I saw somebody had made a minute-long video of the still of him being searched by one of Saw Gerrera's men with that stick being, and the caption was, "Is Luthen actually a Jedi?" And I was like,
I'm leaving. I'll see you guys later.
I'm
I'm so tired of seeing theories of is Luthen a Sith? Is Luthen a Jedi? Is Luthen... No! He's just a
Skywalker,
dude!
Did you see that at all?
Oh.
So I haven't seen that actually, but I saw a good one that he was an ex-Republic like officer or something during the Clone Wars, but which I thought could have been interesting. But yeah, I haven't really. I don't know. I feel like there's not like a ton of like theories for this show in general, but like maybe it's just not what's coming up on my like social media news feeds and stuff. So
I'm not gonna lie though, I definitely, when they held that up at first, I was like, is that a lightsaber? Because we know earlier in the show he has like that retractable stick, but
The bonk stick.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the housing for that is completely different from this. The housing for that, it was just a solid gray tube with white end caps, and it was like a gunmetal gray. Completely different. So, and the fact that he is an antique shop owner, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for him to own a lightsaber as an antique. So he might be carrying one, like, actually. That could be a lightsaber, it could not be. We don't know because it didn't
I
go...
don't think it was
I
in
know
that
the
situation.
Luthen Rail Black Series figure comes with a club with a sheath,
Ooh,
and it
okay.
looks exactly like this one from this episode.
Okay.
So I think that is what that accessory is coming from in that moment. Speaking of the Republic, though, did
Okay.
anyone else catch? I caught this on my second viewing. In the shop, there is a Naboo headdress that Padme wears in Attack of the Clones when they're traveling to Naboo and
I
pretending to be
did see someone
peasants.
point that out. Yeah.
That was super cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. It feels like every time we go to the shop, there's something that we missed, or there's something that's new that's out
Yeah.
that he has. And it's just so crazy. I mean, it's nice to look at the stuff that's familiar before, like the Temple Guard mask, the Kalakori, the
Very different.
Gungan shield, all this other stuff.
Just fact-checked what Tommy said about the Black Series figure. It's actually very different. Very
Okay.
different indeed.
That is.
So,
So I guess I'll just go jump off a bridge.
Yep, Tommy, you were wrong. So
Yep.
wrong, in fact, that it's embarrassing to even have you on the show.
So,
Dang, bro.
So,
Dang, okay.
so glad that Bix comes with ratchet straps, though.
No, wait. We get ratchet straps in Star Wars. Maybe I can practice with those so Dad won't yell at me when I don't know how to use them.
Yeah, if
What?
this dude has no idea how to use a
We
ratchet
are not
strap.
going to go into this at all.
Didn't we have to use them in high school on the rowing team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I never touched them.
Yeah, because this
We're not
numbskull
going to
doesn't know
talk
how to.
about the
he doesn't know how
ratchet
to.
straps. We're not going to talk
You literally
about
put it
ratchet
through one
straps.
hole and you wrap it around the other, and you go.
Maybe because every time I try to use them, you and Dad are like,
Haven't you
and
ever
I
played
just have to
Pac-Man?
stand there.
You ever played Pac-Man?
I'm going to kill you.
Oh.
You heard it here first, y'all.
I'm just glad that Skywalker Hendrix is
With
here to witness all
kindness.
this.
In Minecraft. I'm going to kill him in Minecraft. Let me clarify that.
Your diamonds have disappeared.
Your diamonds? My
Your wolf
diamonds.
no longer exists.
You have something I want.
You need to update that server.
You mean the realm?
Dude, I don't have enough dedicated WAM for my Minecraft
Wow.
server.
Well, all you have to do is turn the game on and start the update. That's all I
Look
ask.
at all these notes, bro. Look at all these notes.
What the heck?
I got so many notes.
From the
But to be fair, we
episode-
already been through like a quarter of them just from talking about what
Tommy
we
said, I
talked about.
wrote down the whole New Testament to talk about today.
Okay. Let me hit y'all with this.
Oh,
Narkia 5, when we're on it, we actually see Narkians.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would happen, and I thought it was really
They're
interesting.
called Narkinians, actually.
They were pretty ugly.
Yeah, I was happy we got practical, not great-looking aliens to begin with. It's good that, again,
Big
the
Uggies.
lore is expanding.
Big Uggies.
The Squiggies. That's what they were fishing for.
Mm-hmm. And they had their cum nets. Their
Bro.
sticky
Dude,
what?
gelatinous
I literally,
nuts.
in my notes, I literally have a note that just says, cum trap.
Skywalker, you digging the cum trap or not?
We need a Black Series version with that as an accessory.
Hasbro just come out with some slime.
And
A
it's
two-pack.
gotta when you pull it out of the package, it's gotta be slimy, or else I'm not buying it.
That's
It's like it's got to
grody.
come in a little flarp bin.
No, it'll come in a Bacta tank full of just goo.
Oh my
Excrement.
Black Series 2-pack, the one that doesn't speak English, and then Melchi.
Obese
in the trap.
Hellboy.
God. Obese Hellboy.
And then Daddy Long Hands.
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought that it was very nice to see natives, and again, one didn't speak basic at all, and the
Yeah.
other one kind of spoke in riddles. And it
I
was
had
kinda
no
like,
idea what they said the
Bro,
entire
I turned on subtitles because I couldn't hear in the morning, and I was reading that, and I was like, am I having a stroke right
No,
now?
so on Wednesdays, I wake up at 6 a.m. so I can watch the episode, okay? So I'm like half awake. This happened, and upon my first viewing, I just kept going. I kept thinking, I have no idea what's happening right now. I have no idea. And then I had to I just kept telling myself, I'm going to have to watch this again. And the second the scene came on, subtitles. So I was like, there's no way I can tell what he said. And he'd spoken riddles, but what I thought was riddles, it just ended up being like Old English,
Yeah.
like kind of like 1700s English.
Shout out to people in England, bro.
Yeah. And they basically were Canadians because he kept saying, hey, at the end of every sentence.
Hey,
Uh,
And then you had that. Isn't the first time that we see a quad jumper in The Force Awakens?
yep, they drive a quad jumper, which is from,
Yep.
we'll take the quad jumper.
And then it's also in Mando.
The garbage will do. Yep, it is in Mando as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
And it's still a piece of garbage every
Yep.
time we see it on screen.
I like how it started and then it kind of fell below and it was dipped into the water and then got its act together and started rolling.
Ooh, I thought it was dope too that when Cassian and Melchi were hiding, they were hiding from a TIE Reaper.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite Imperial ships. For anyone who doesn't know, it's in Rogue One is where it first came out. It was the drop ship for the Death Troopers on Scarif.
I was surprised that you didn't mention that when we were talking about the TIE Bomber. I was like, oh, I thought that was Tommy's favorite.
Remember when we
Sure.
tried to play Star Wars Squadrons for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm gonna play as the TIE Reaper, and then I played the campaign and went, I'm not gonna play this game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That is arguably one of the biggest pre-order regrets of my existence.
Good thing it was only $40.
Right next to
Skywalker,
Gun
did
Gale
you ever play
Online.
Squadrons?
I did not. I'm not like a huge gamer in general. Like I honestly only play video games like like maybe like 5 times a year I sit down and like actually play.
What do you play on?
Yeah, just not a huge
Plays on
gamer.
PlayStation.
I do like Jedi Fallen Order. You know, I played that all the way through. Stuff like that. Red Dead is like my favorite game of all time.
Red Dead 2's gas.
The Spider-Man PS4, the Spider-Man PS4 game is goated as well. But like other than that, I'm just not huge into gaming, so I never checked that one out.
Sounds like you're much more of a single player, story driven kind of person. Uh-oh.
I want to light my Xbox on fire.
Oh.
It sounds like he could never take me on a 1v1 on Rust.
Jackson, you've never touched Rust.
He's touched Rust.
Jacob.
Just not the game.
The map Rust.
Oh.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't even know who this guy is. If anyone didn't know, we're actually working to phase Jackson out of the show, and that's why we're bringing Skywalker Hendrix as the first audition to phase Jackson out of the show.
When Jackson gets deployed and he's in Alaska. They don't have Wi-Fi in Alaska.
Yes, they do.
They just have caribou and snow.
And then
you don't get deployed to Alaska.
Actually, we were gonna surprise you, but I'll just tell you now. For the Christmas stream, we were gonna sing Christmas carols, and we were gonna get to and in case you didn't hear, you're fired, and then we would tell you, you're fired.
So
get out of here.
The whole thing that we were going to do, you might have heard of this guy. He used to have this show on TV where he would tell people that they were fired. His name was Donald J. Trump. We were actually going to have him come on the show and fire you himself. So,
Jackson, you're fired.
I feel like that'd be the best way to get let go at this point.
I have a FedEx box waiting for you outside.
Y'all are awful.
They're shipping you to Alaska.
The cleaning in this room will no longer be done if I'm not here.
Yeah, well.
Huh. I mean, you don't do it anyway. I wonder why my allergies always flare up from my dust allergy.
That's him, bro. I gotta do what I'm late.
I ain't got time. You want to know what's in the air in here now? Tons and tons of charcoal powder.
Asbestos.
Dude, I just went through my collection today and dusted all the shelves, and it gets dusty really fast. Skywalker, do you have any tips and tricks for people who are looking to clean and dust their collection?
I would suggest first getting a Dettol, like glass case Dettol. And then it's very minimal, and yeah, it basically simplifies it just a ton. And I don't use it for all my figures. Obviously, you can see right here, they're just on a shelf. But yeah, I don't really have any tips. Sometimes you just gotta take them all down and get her done. But
Yeah.
I will say a tip for making it more fun is, you get to repose those figures, you get to mess around,
Yes.
get those figures that are on the back of the shelf that you haven't touched in a while and just messing them with them. It kind of, it helps to keep the collection fresh feeling too. So that's basically all I got for tips.
If you really want
That's
to get cleaning off your collection in a really quick pace, what you need to do is you need to take a Spotify playlist and you press shuffle, and you have to try to clean the entire playlist by the time a song ends. And if you don't, you tase yourself in between songs.
How do you
That'll
clean
really
a playlist?
that'll.
You said you have to clean the entire playlist.
Nah, clean the entire collection.
See,
bad,
Jacob's
dog.
the type of guy where if he was on a plane and someone said, we have 39 people and 40 parachutes, Jacob would go, I guess I'll just jump.
Like, shoot, I can land that though.
Bro,
No,
you're dyslexic in speech.
No, it's called autism. It's if somebody said, hey, my lips are chapped, and I was in an airport, I'd be like, oh, I brought my lip balm, and then I'm that type of guy, and I immediately get sacked by airport security and be like, what did I do? Fun fact: every time Jackson and I go through airport security, I don't know if this happened to him last time when he was going to Hawaii.
Nope.
But when we would go through airport security together, we would always get stopped for having gunpowder on our hands for some reason, and I don't know
I
why.
got that TSA pre-check, so they don't even check me anymore.
Oh. We were going through the airport, and they said, we swabbed your hands. They had gunpowder on them, and we said, They had what on it? And I said, I haven't fired a gun in months.
Exactly.
I don't know what this is.
Wash
You
your
know,
hands.
actually,
I actually don't wash my hands ever. Actually, you want to smell them?
Do you know 70% of all TSA employees actually work 5 years or more in counterintelligence, and then the other, screw you, 20% are military?
I listened to a
they
word
want you to
said.
think it's Joe Schmo people, but it's actually like people who know what they're doing, even though they act like jerks.
I had Jacob's fingers in my mouth, so I didn't hear a word you said.
Mhm.
That's okay. Nobody would have cared anyway. Skywalker cared, and you know what? That's okay.
How do you know he cared?
Because he
Skywalker,
nodded
did you,
his head.
Skywalker, did you care?
I actually did not know that, so like that's kind of interesting.
See, I take a class on
You were
Homeland
supposed to say
Security,
no. You were
and, like,
supposed to say no
There's
for the
all
bit.
these like cool tips and tricks. Like, so this is gonna be a little bit funny. So Al Qaeda actually has a magazine. Don't look it up, or like literally the government will immediately track you. But it's called Inspire by Al Qaeda. You can't make this shit up. And so every year they come out with
Jackson just used the
sorry,
swear
I used
pass.
the one swear pass for today. They come out with a new edition every however many years they decide, and talk about how to commit terrorist acts in America and how you can do it yourself. And so, like, one of the biggest worries is that you can easily commit a terrorist attack on public transportation, such as a train. And so to combat
They
that,
published this in a magazine.
it's in a publicly available magazine online. Do not look it up, though. Like, I'm actually not even joking.
Damn, bro, I had no clue that Inspire was by St. Jude Children's Hospital. You're telling me that Al Qaeda is sponsoring St. Jude's Children's Hospital,
You're telling
Jackson?
me that
Children.
St. Jude's
No.
Hospital
Okay,
is,
so here's what I'm getting to.
sponsoring Al Qaeda.
So in train stations, what they have behind the walls essentially are scanners already in place, so that when you walk by with a bag, it already can scan your bag for explosives and like any sort of object. So that if it scans and it tests, it alerts Viper officers, which is like a combination of local
Just
law
a pot of
enforcement.
snakes.
Why do they hire snakes? Isn't that
Asps.
against like work laws?
Very
Like,
dangerous.
labor laws?
You
It's a little bit of local, like state and federal, like law enforcement that can like immediately stop that person for like whatever they may have.
Mhm.
So like, there's like a whole lot of like secret
So-
ways that they combat terrorism. They
To-
work with John Hopkins for that.
So, to all you audio listeners, love you to death. Make sure that you Google Inspire by Al Qaeda.
Do not. Do
if you
not.
want some easy
If you
reading.
Google Inspire, if you Google anything by Edward Snowden, you will almost forever be on a watch list.
Edward Snowden is from Hunger Games.
Yikes.
Jackson.
Definitely looked up Edward Snowden. Definitely on a watch list.
No, I'm not tweaking. I'm right. Hold
So
on.
Andor.
I definitely was a fan of
so
dude Katniss for life, bro.
I did want to say, you know, rest in peace Marva. Rest in peace Marva. She gone, she dead. It happened in a way I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And I'm also very depressed that B2 Emo has clinical depression now because of this thing happening. It just, the whole episode, seeing him not being able to cope with Marva's death just has me absolutely just...
Yeah.
I'm
That had me
torn
tear up
apart
in the
for it.
beginning. I'm not gonna
Favorite
cap.
character in Hunger Games.
Okay, I'm not stupid. I was
Favorite
wrong.
Hunger Games
Don't look.
character.
Don't look up his stuff.
Dude,
like, actually.
what is happening right now?
Okay, so at any rate, no, I think it was cool. Something that I saw at the beginning talking about was the contrast about how, in the beginning we see the perspective of B2 Emo, how he's freaking out in a way because people are using him as an object, like somebody set something on him, and he's afraid of becoming just an object again and being forgotten. And how the guy who's the worker, who's friends with Cassian, treats B2 Emo like a person, and that's what helps him like calm down and whatnot.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the beginning of the episode.
Jacob was too busy being enamored by
Yep.
domestic terrorism to...
It's my favorite thing.
The 1313 podcast does not condone domestic terrorism or conspiracy of domestic terrorism. If you participate in any of those activities, please see yourself out. We do not want any...
Guys, we're storming the Capitol. We're doing it again.
No, we are not.
Jackson was there. January 6th. Jackson was
Stop
there.
making
I
up
can
this stuff
confirm.
right now.
I
have-
can confirm.
I have pictures of Jackson at the Capitol on January
Shut
6th.
up.
So we also find out, though, that Marva is a member of the Daughters of Ferrix, and that is what the title of the
Yes.
episode is named after.
Who are also the chicks carrying her out at the end, are like members.
Yes.
You meant like Daughters of Liberty, I think.
Here's
is the
Jackson and his friends inside.
Dude, can you stop
Okay,
showing
actually
pictures
stop.
of domestic terrorists?
It's funny.
Okay.
It's not!
It's funny.
Let's
It's
quit
not.
it with that. Let's quit it with that.
Anyways, Yes, so she's a daughter of Ferrix, and I think my personal theory here, and everyone let me know how you feel about this, is that the Empire actually poisoned her to get rid of her because they found out that she was sneaking under the hotel. And I think that when people find this out, it's going to be what causes them to riot. Either that, or she left some sort of manifesto saying that she believed in the rebel cause and that they needed to fight against the oppression of the Empire.
I feel like there's going to be some, if the Empire was already giving them such a hard time about having a permit to hold her funeral and whatnot, something will happen at the funeral that will end up being the turning point. And I feel like maybe a trooper might get involved in a negative way, or they might plant somebody to do something and be like, the people are acting up. No, it didn't.
Yeah, no, it hasn't happened yet.
No, they said that she's in the stone. They already burned her, put her in bricks, and they
do the
laid
thing
the
yet, Jacob.
Yeah, they did. They paraded her through the street.
That was literally the whole point of the first part, was because they were requesting the permit, and then Dedra allowed it, said to keep it a small gathering and whatnot. They escorted her body out of the building. That wasn't the funeral. They need to hold the formal event.
But then after that whole thing happened, then the guy goes, she's gone, she's in the stone. So that
and then he doubles back and says, not yet.
Oh,
I didn't notice that either till the second time I watched.
Okay.
Yeah. But
or you're confusing.
Skywalker, what are your thoughts on that?
So I actually think that her, like, she's gonna basically be put into a brick. I think that brick is gonna be thrown at like a stormtrooper or like they're about to like put it in the wall or something, and then like a stormtrooper or like one of the Imperials like says something like last second, and they like, I think it's probably gonna be, I don't know if it'll be casting, because I don't think the Imperials would like probably be on him before he could like actually put the brick like on whatever wall they're gonna put it in. But I think that brick is gonna like start whatever happens in the last episode where everyone just turns on the Empire, and like kind of the rebellion of Ferrix started with that brick being thrown.
Interesting.
I like that theory.
That's a nice idea for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah. I think
I still find it funny that somebody's gonna yeet his mom, but like,
dude, well, or like, what if like they're going, the Empire tries to tell them where to put the brick?
Ooh.
You know, like what if they're like, you
it's
have to
such a dumb idea.
put it by the toilet, and then they're like, no, and they throw it at them.
I still can't, it's such a dumb tradition. We take your loved ones. We
I thought
burn
that was
them.
a cool idea.
We put them in some random build. Dude, how would you feel if your corpse was used to build up a porta potty, like a public restroom? How would that make you?
I'm dead. I don't care.
I think honestly, it gives culture to Ferrix.
Yes.
And I think that a thing that this show does very well is give culture and substance to, like we just talked about with the Narkinians.
Mm-hmm.
I never expected to see a local species, let alone have them have one who didn't speak Basic and one who did but spoke in Old English. You know, like
speak Basic.
Spoke in Yoda.
See, because that was a nice detail as well, because not every alien speaks Basic, and we finally have a little bit of like a language issue now.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch too,
Yeah.
because typically there's an astromech or a protocol droid that can fix it.
Yeah. And to me, it makes the show have a lot more depth, and it feels more lived in and more Star Wars in that way.
Mm-hmm. You want to hit on Mommy Mothma?
Bro, listen.
Before I get into my favorite part of the episode.
Listen, bro. Okay.
Mothma arranged
I've
marriage.
one more thing I wanted to touch on
Okay.
real quick. This same sequence with the beginning of the episode. So Cinta is spying on Marva.
Yes.
And then obviously she relays to Vel that
Mhm.
that Marva's dead. Then there's this other guy who's there in the bar. And
ISP.
I didn't know who he was at first until I watched it the second time. Jacob is right. He is ISB. He is the one who interrogates Bix in the episode, which, by the way, Bix looks awful. They did such a good job with the makeup on this to make her look like she has been through hell.
Mhm.
And they didn't even actually like
Touch
physically torture her. They just mentally tortured her.
Youngling
Mhm.
Slaughter MP3.
That the ISB guy was in the previous episode too, when they were talking about like watching
Yes.
his mom and whatnot, but it was so obvious he was ISB, which ties into the whole theme of they're so proud that they don't even like know that this dude can literally waltz in and someone with a brain can be like, you're definitely ISB.
Yeah, for me, I didn't catch on at first when I watched it the first time. And again, I don't know if it's because I watched it early in the morning and I was like half awake. but I caught it the second time through, and it's only because I recognized his face. But Jackson, if you want to talk about some Mommy Mothma.
Mommy Mothma wasn't my favorite part. I was talking about hit that before we hit my favorite part.
Oh, let's hit that then.
Okay, yeah.
So, Mon Mothma.
She's okay with giving away her daughter because her daughter's a fan of the traditional culture of their people, I guess.
I don't think she's...
Oh.
So we completely lost Skywalker Hendrix. Thank you to Orbit Wi-Fi, brought to you by, it's a Disney company, for your trash Wi-Fi. You were good for like the first 3 or 4 years.
Well, we still have our audio, so I'm gonna try and get Skywalker back while we can keep talking about this then.
Oh, it says our internet died.
Our internet's out completely?
Yeah. I just looked at my phone.
My internet's fine.
Mine's here.
Okay, now it's back.
Mm-hmm.
It had the exclamation mark next to it.
I'll text him real quick. But so with Mon Mothma, I don't think she's okay with giving away her daughter's hand, and I don't think her daughter's gonna be okay with the idea. I think she does just follow like the she likes the old traditions.
Skywalker, can you hear us?
Of the ways of old.
I got it.
Oh, look at Tommy's beautiful face on the TV.
No, it's there.
No, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Skywalker, can you hear us? No, I don't think you can.
You gotta add yourself.
Oh, can you hear us? Go ahead. Unmute. Go ahead, unmute there.
Yeah, I lost you guys for like the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
yeah,
you're good,
we lost internet connection for a second there, but
Okay.
yeah, the podcast is still going. So
We're good.
yes, and this
Okay.
is, I mean, technical difficulties is as we do.
As we do.
It's a part of our brand.
Most mediocre podcast. We were talking about Mommy Mothma. I don't think she's okay with giving away her daughter's hand, and I just think that her daughter is a fan of the traditions. But I do think that when the thing is posed, hey, arranged marriage, I think she's gonna be like, Mom, I hate you even more than I already hate you, which I don't understand why she hates Mon Mothma so much, but
Yeah, and
Because she's literally the better parent.
I kind of expected it to be Perrin, Mon Mothma's husband, to be the one who is pushing for this, and that's what Vel thought as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we end up seeing that it is her daughter who is the one that's into it. And even when she comes up to say hi to Vel after her little meeting, she gives Mon Mothma like this really like the hairy eye. And I'm like,
goes,
dude,
hey,
what is your issue, dude? Such an angsty teen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the disconnect between Mon and her daughter. Mon Mothma wants her daughter to have the freedom of choice as to who she wants to be with. And it's actually her daughter that is resenting that. Maybe that's part of their dynamic as to why she hates her mom.
It's whack. It's all whack.
What do you think on that, Skywalker?
Yeah, it is like interesting as to why she dislikes her mom so much, and maybe it's just the fact that she kind of wants her daughter to not live the same life she lived, but maybe that's like what her daughter actually wants. So there's just kind of they're butting heads almost, or like they see themselves going down different directions, and each of them don't want that. So yeah, I don't know. I'd like to get more of like a kind of a concrete explanation as to like what made her not like her mom, or are there things that her dad lets her do that Mon Mothma won't, and that's why like. So it is very interesting dynamic though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good theory. I think that we will eventually get a more solid explanation, but in the meantime, this is a great loophole for Mon to end up setting up her daughter with the gangster's son.
Yes.
Because that was something she wasn't interested in, but her daughter, maybe part of it is that her daughter thinks that this is what's best for herself, but Mon Mothma is like, I maybe thought the same thing at one time, but I don't think so anymore. I think Mon Mothma doesn't want to see her daughter go down the path that she's been down, but her daughter kind of makes her daughter want to do it more. I mean, that's a typical scenario we see
It's like
with
when you're
American mothers and daughters.
You're about to put the laundry away, and then your mom says, "Jacob, put the laundry away." I don't want to do it anymore. It's no, it's my big thing is I feel like we have so many loose ends to this story, and there's one episode left. I don't know how everything's gonna get tied together.
I mean, we have set up now that pretty much everybody's going back to Ferrix. We got that one scene with Cyril where Linus gives him the FaceTime.
That was funny.
And tells him that he...
Is that you, sir?
Oh, what do you have information for me? I'm doing well, sir! So Cyril's definitely going back to Ferrix. He's going to try and kill Cassian. So I don't think kill him. Maybe bring him to justice so he can get a spot with the ISB. You know?
With Dedra, his sweet babu.
Which actually, looking back,
Dedra, I love you so much. You got me this promotion.
Do
I
you?
love you so much, Dedra? With your strong,
I mean, this dude's massaging my
strong,
bicep
muscular
and tricep
biceps,
right now.
Dedra. Strong, muscular. Whoa. Hey.
So I think maybe that, looking back, that maybe Cyril is enamored with Dedra being a form of imperial justice rather than Dedra herself, because she's the only one. Yeah, I mean, she's like the embodiment of justice to him, and because he's so obsessed and infatuated with the concept of justice, I think that is what's making him so attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more. I mean, he's creepy nonetheless, but I think that that's might be the motivation behind his creepiness.
I saw a point online given saying that Andor does a really good job of showing us the radicalization of Cassian and Cyril to both their respective sides.
Ooh, yes, yeah.
I thought that was a really good point that somebody made.
Yes.
Very sad when Cassian's mom bites the dust and Cassian finds out about it at the end.
My man finds out over FaceTime.
Yeah.
Okay, but can we talk about my favorite part of the episode?
No.
I was talking about how Cassian's mom died.
But this is the coolest.
But I wanted to talk about this first.
Do you actually have something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about how.
Oh, he
okay,
actually has
you
something.
can go,
Okay,
you
go
can
ahead.
I wanted to talk about how the performance was like really, really cutting. With the fact that he doesn't say a word to his buddy about this. He just casually finds out that his mom's dead. He just hangs up, walks over to the sunset, and he's like, "You good?" He's like, "Yep. Yeah, I'm fine." He doesn't even mention it, which is like one of those moments where you think every human wants to be like, have like their moment of grieving, like when their family dies, especially his last remaining family. So the fact that he just kind of brushes it under the rug, and then his buddy's like, "I'm going to go because we need to tell everybody about what happened." And he's just left there on his own, staring into the sunset, which you could also say Luke Skywalker looking into his sunset is the turning point in his life, which starts his hero's journey. This is the same point for Cassian. When he turns his life over to the rebellion, he's going to start actually fighting against the Empire rather than just fighting for himself. Wabam. I had
like it.
Truth bomb. Staring into the horizon in the sunset is such like it's a turning point. It's the paradigm shift in Star Wars. It is the moment that is like the definitive, like they were this, now they're this. Yeah. It happens all the time. All the time. So you can see another example, Anakin looking into the sunset on Coruscant, crying in the Jedi Temple. That's the paradigm shift of when he decides that he's going to fully disobey Mace Windu's words and go after Palpatine. That is one of the paradigm shifts in his character that leads him into the dark side, the complete disobedience.
I liked that.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's like a poem. It rhymes.
It's like poetry.
Wrong.
It rhymes. So Jackson, what is this part you've been waiting to talk about?
Okay, so my favorite part of the episode had to be the bit between Saw Gerrera and Luthen. We briefly touched on the beginning, but it was just it's cool to see Saw's continued paranoia that somebody's out to get him. He can't trust anybody. But then to come to the realization that Luthen knows these people are going to die and he's not doing anything. He's saving me in the end, but it's for the cause. And he has to come to the realization that this is how this new rebellion and new order has to work. It's a bigger picture, and he can't interfere as much as he wants to be stubborn against Luthen, but then realizing the extremes that Luthen will go to as well, being like, well, why wouldn't you tell me? He's like, you know me. He doesn't. And it's like, whoa.
It's-
Just like how easy he's going to kill these people off and let them die.
Because from one way, it sounds like self-preservation for Luthen, but in another way, it's Luthen is an integral part of the cause. If someone were to find out about him, everything falls apart.
Yep.
It's not self-preservation for Luthen. It's self-preservation for his ISB plant.
Yes.
That's what he's protecting. And he finds the information that he gets from him more important than an entire rebel cell.
Losing future information is more crucial than, I mean, that's just realistic, than losing 30 men.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And it sucks. It really is an ethical dilemma to be put into. This whole show is ethical dilemmas. This whole show is the gray area between the Luke Skywalker and the Palpatine, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, we blow up the Death Star and we all say, hurrah, I'm a good boy who's never done anything
We just killed
bad.
over 1 million people. Woo!
That's another. That's so. It's so hard to think about that Luke Skywalker and the Rebels killed billions of people.
He pressed a button and killed millions of people.
And then when he got done, he went and flew into the sunset.
Crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
Skywalker, let's hear it.
What was the question?
Just what you thought about this
Even
whole
about
scene.
that.
Just this whole scene with Luthen and Saw.
Oh yeah, I thought the Forrest Whitaker again as Saw Gerrera, like he needs his own show at this point because he absolutely killed it, and just seeing the fear of Luthen basically, and seeing that Luthen is I don't know, just it adds to Luthen's character, and I feel like every episode Luthen becomes more compelling, and almost I wouldn't say more than Andor, but we're just finding a lot of stuff out each episode about how deep into it he is and how ruthless he's willing to go to get to where he wants to be, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought that those two actors together would have just been like amazing to see in person too. But I think that was an absolute fantastic scene.
Yeah.
And I find it crazy that this is the episode of Andor with no Andor in it. It was like Book of Boba Fett's episode 5. It's like there's not a whole lot of Andor in it, but it's also just a really good episode. I also think that Luthen is the best character in this show.
I agree.
Just his acting ability is off the charts, and it's really cool to actually see him get to show his chops in a Disney property. Because we first see him as Bootstrap Bill in Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's just kind of deranged. He's just part of ship, part of crew.
And then he runs naked around Stonehenge and gets arrested.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's in MCU. He's the goofy, witty, Jane Foster's dad.
Goofy, witty,
But now we get to see a complete side of him that nobody has ever seen before. He kind of does switching his personalities is like what what Mark Thompson does when he's voice acting two different characters. Make sure that you check out that Have a Chat if you haven't already. Sick, nasty
it's right here
plug.
in the corner.
Watch it.
It's
like the Rick and Morty thing where you just switch back and forth between voices on the fly. Remember that movie that we saw, Mr. Glass? That was like kind of weird, but it had like that.
Yeah, the people with the different personalities.
There's
That was stupid because we didn't watch the prequel.
We didn't watch the 2 movies that came before.
Split?
Yeah, so Split, it's kind of like Split where it's one guy, but he has multiple personalities, and within one scene, he goes from talking to one person to talking to the next. It's acting like that is so very impressive, just because not only you have to really change your mental state and your way of thinking to switch between characters, because one character has motivations and ways of thinking in one way, one character has motivations and ways of thinking of another thing. So even though Luthen's character half the time, I'm just a grumpy old man that wants to murder the Empire, when he puts on that face for shopkeeper, the whole motivation of acting has to change to this is my shop, this is my front. So although he's always has that happy face, you can still see there's like a shadow underneath it. It's never fully a mask. The mask is always slipping.
I mean, you see that too, where he's talking to Clea in code. Yeah. I think they're talking about Cassian, and because they're talking about another potential item. They're talking about how there are a lot of buyers in the area where this item is headed. I think they're definitely talking about Cassie.
Oh yeah, that's what I think. I think he's gonna find his way back to Pharynx.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing about Luthen too that I really like is his ability to be honest with Saw, but leave it in Saw's hands. Like he's manipulating Saw's motivations without making it seem like
He's
he is.
gaslighting Saw
He's
Gerrera. He's gaslighting Saw
Saw.
Gerrera. Shout out to Hybrid Toys.
Hybrid Toy Reviews.
On his absolutely wonderful shirt.
He got a shirt that says "I heart gaslighting." Yeah. So with that though, I did want to touch on the line that Saw gives to Luthen. That let's call it war. We are officially like dug in now. This is Saw is now on board with a greater cause than self-preservation, and I think that's what Luthen wanted to get. And I also just thought I really want to touch on this moment where Luthen gets to get the blaster in Saw's face so that he can get him to listen. He pretends that Two Tubes is his informant, and Two Tubes is like, "Bro, chill out."
He's like,
chill
"It's
out."
Tubes," and he was like, "Bro, what do you mean?"
Dude, and when Two Tubes tells Luthen, he's in a mood. Like, it's just, that character, please. I want an action figure. I want an action figure of Two Tubes.
I will buy a Two Tubes.
Luthen said, hits buzzer. Tubes is imposter. Tubes is sus. Wait. I saw Tubes venting.
Bro, he said, Tubes is the sussy imposter.
No. Wait. Turns out Luthen was imposter.
Dude, that was, for me, it's just, that's Star Wars humor. That's Star Wars humor that works. And
because it's kind of dark.
It is. It's kind of dark. I mean, I just recently was watching the Corruption on Mandalore arc of the Clone Wars, and there's a moment where with the drinks with the Slaven in it, that the kids are drinking out of the bottles, when they're in the
poison
school,
OJ.
and the doctor just goes, "We need this for research purposes," from a kid's tray. Like, he just takes the kid's like, but, and he's like, "See you later," and they just leave. Like, it's stuff like that that's very Star Wars humor, because unlike Marvel, where Marvel will go, "All right, everyone, and here's this moment of comedy," and like they would make it like a big long show and like have a shot that like
she's not alone.
Yeah, like it's just like stuff like that. It's like, honestly, I'd call it cringe. But with Star Wars, they don't dwell on it. It's like a little more like just you either catch it or you don't. You know?
The show doesn't dwell on anything. Not even people's deaths that are like notable characters.
Nah.
Not even Cassian's mom got 2 cents. She just wasn't.
That's a good point.
She just wasn't there.
They went,
Boom! And like, she was there and then she just wasn't. And
snatch your
I also think that shot at the very beginning of the episode with B2 Emo was such a creative shot.
Yes,
I didn't know what I was looking at initially, and I was kind of like, "What is this?" It was just, it's what I like that. Star Wars is getting a little bit more artistic with its ways of being shot and things like that. I think the apex of going a little bit too far is Blade Runner 2042. That movie is so like overly stylized. It's like beautiful in its own right, but I feel like that'd be like a little bit too far for Star Wars. I still think probably the best shot in the entire original trilogy is that shot where Luke is on Bespin and he opens like that one tunnel and it just kind of goes like boom and it's all lit up. That shot looks so cool. But I do like to see that we're getting a little bit more creative with how pretty Star Wars can look.
Yes. Okay, I think we've covered all my notes except for one more thing that I wanted to cover, and it was just a quick little scene. I just wanted to say, I called it that Cassian was going to stop back at Miami Beach to go get his box and to get Nemec's diary. And when he does,
sleeping.
His ex is laid up with another man in the bed.
Dumbo. He's laid up with Dumbo. Got the trunk and the tusks and everything, bro.
Oh man! When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, huh?"
I didn't realize she was with that. I just thought it was a different.
So it makes me wonder: maybe that wasn't his place?
Hoes in Star Wars confirmed.
Do you think then that maybe that was her place that he was bumming at, or that was like, you know, I don't know.
That's a whack shower dough.
But yeah, I thought it was awesome that Nemec's diary was a voice diary and not just a written one.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. It was text to speech.
Yeah,
and you
MP3
see
player.
all the Imperial credits from his cut. My man is very, very rich still. All those credits.
Can go anywhere.
You should put it not invested in the Northwest Bank because they're terrible.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about.
All right.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any theories about what's gonna happen in the finale? Skywalker, we'll start with you. Do you have any theories about what's gonna happen in the finale of Andor?
Basically just like what I said earlier about her brick being thrown and starting kind of the rebellion on Ferrix. Other than that, I think we're gonna see Cyril come to Ferrix. Probably, I mean, obviously Cassian's gonna come there. Luthen's probably gonna come there. And it's just kind of gonna be they're just all gonna accumulate, and it's just gonna start chaos, basically. And that's going to be the start of the rebellion on Ferrix that will, reach other places in the galaxy, of course. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I got, what I'm predicting.
Cool.
So, yeah.
SKYWALKERHENDRIX, has anybody ever told you that you just have the most beautiful set of eyes?
Bro, y'all gotta be chill right now the way we stare.
Hey, let's go! Get them peepers out.
I definitely feel like, yeah, that was something we probably touched on a little bit more, like what Skywalker was saying about like the whole brick situation. I mean, we know something's gonna happen on Ferrix.
We already knew that she was a brick, but not a literal one.
I have a theory. I have an interesting theory.
Okay.
So I am kind of adjusting this theory because of this newest episode. Before this episode came out, I did have a theory that
Dirge was gonna show up
sometime during the Ferrix, riot, Cassian was gonna kill Cinta, and then he would have to hide that from Vel the entire second season. But obviously, she would end up finding out at some point. But now that we know Vel is going there too, I think that I think Cinta's dead either way, and we're gonna be evaluating how Vel deals with that passing in season 2.
That's why she doesn't get an action figure.
That's why she doesn't get an action figure. But I did have a theory. I think if anyone's gonna die in this next episode, it's gonna be Cinta.
I think it's gonna be Vel.
Really?
I think it's gonna be
Ooh.
Vel because let's be honest. The writers of Rogue One know, hey, get attached to this character, and now they're dead. So,
I mean, the thing is, with
and where
Cinta,
is she in Rogue One?
To me, Cinta is more about drinking the juice that is the rebellion. I think that Cinta is more stable with her loyalties, and Vel is a little bit. Her character needs more work, in my opinion, and I think that because of that, that's the reason that Cinta will pass and Vel will live. I don't really. I think. Oh, all Cassian's friends are dead. By the way, I think Bix might get out, but I think that Cassian's one friend from work is a goner.
Yep.
B2 is a goner.
B2 is gonna become K2SO. I'm still predicting that.
Marva's brick is a goner.
The cinder block.
The cinder block. I think that
Bell Tower guy, he lives.
Bell
gonna
Tower
be fine.
guy. He's gonna be playing whack-a-mole with Imperial helmets.
Boom.
I think that a lot of people though are doomed.
That dude's such a loser.
Bro, he's playing the best
He's
gong
literally
you've
one of the
ever
most
seen.
goated characters in the show.
My man is playing
Bell
on the
Tower
Minecraft
guy.
anvil all day long.
Is Bell Tower guy the next Wilro Hood? Find out on the
Is
next
Bell
episode of Andor.
All right.
Besides that, does anyone else, Skywalker, do you have anything else that you wanted to add about the episode or anything about that?
Not really. I feel like we covered everything. Just an amazing episode, and it's just, I mean, it's hard to put into words, but it's just, the show is just so chef's kiss. That's all I gotta say, chef's kiss.
I agree.
Very good show. I'm liking it a lot
Very
so
good
far.
show. I give this episode a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I give this episode, say maybe a 7 or an 8.
And then Jackson, of course.
I'm not gonna rate it because the thing isn't over yet.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the show's over.
Keep making fun of me however much you want. You fellas look like clowns every time you do it.
United we stand.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need a red nose with that too? You want a wig?
And
He's reading your shirt, bro.
yes,
I
so
know that.
everybody, this has been an episode of 1330 Podcast. If you enjoyed seeing guests on our main episodes, let us know. That might be something we continue, probably not every week, because it was a real pain to get the audio set up.
Yeah.
Now that we know how to do it, it should be fine.
Right.
From here on out.
Right.
But
True.
it's always the experimentation of the first time. Like everything, the first time is the hardest.
Yes.
So,
Whoa.
we're talking about like Tika's trading post, and this definitely nothing else
What's wrong
like
with you?
bearing a body. But with that, everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of the 1313 podcast. Again, thank you so much to Skywalker for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to Skywalker on YouTube, as well as following him on Instagram. His links are going to be located in the description below. Also, where are you going?
Just keep doing the option.
Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed to the 1313 podcast. You leave a like, you leave a comment. Follow us on all of our social medias, such as Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Join the Discord. The link is in the description below. We have such a wonderful community of Star Wars fans and fans of the channel. And if you want to be part of an absolutely amazing group of people, make sure that you join that Discord. And if you feel like going above and beyond to help the 1313 podcast get better Wi-Fi connection, please consider helping us out on Patreon. All of the funds from the Patreon go right back into the podcast. And also on the 1st of December, we're going to be doing a Jon Favreau figure giveaway for those that are in our Gungan Boss tier, the 1313 tier, that is going to be given away on December 1st. So sorry to the person that was in the giveaway for November, waiting in the stream for like 30 minutes before it began just to find out that they couldn't win it because they weren't in the Patreon. But now that you know, be in the Patreon so you can win some absolutely cool stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hum da da hum da da hum dum dum da. Hum da da hum da da dum dum da dum. Ba-do 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 ba-dum ba-ba-dum ba-do ba-dum ba-do ba-dum dum. Hum da dum hum da da hum dum 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 dum. Hum dum da dum hum da da hum dum da da. Hey, da da dum da dum da. Hum da dum da dum da dum da. Dum da da ba da dum dum da ba ba da ba da.